Hello everyone, my name is Brian, but you can call me the Bugler, and today we're going to be talking about my opinion on the change to the skill trees for Destiny 2. Now, despite calling them skill trees, in Destiny 1 they were more like skill columns, and in Destiny 2 they're more like skill squares, less reliant on branching paths of skills that synergize, and more reliant on which ones you choose to utilize. In Destiny 1, you had the option to switch freely between skills at any given time, so you can move freely between different PvE encounters and PvP encounters without having to completely change your character. But that led to your character feeling a little bit less like your character and more like everyone's character. The only difference between you and another player using the same subclass are the skills that you choose to utilize. And in my opinion, this makes making new characters that are the same subclass as your other character completely worthless. Aside from being able to take advantage of Bungie's arbitrary restriction on your weekly activities, the only difference between the character that you made and the character that you had are the armor stats that you'll have. Let's get into some numbers. In Destiny 1, you had 12 available nodes per subclass, not including your grenades, jumps, stat changes, or the initial unlocks for abilities such as your super or melee. Since these were arranged in columns, that means only 4 of these skills could be active at any given time, which is the same as Destiny 2's skill squares. The main difference is that these skills from Destiny 1 can be mixed and matched based on your preferences at any given time, whereas in Destiny 2, you're locked in with the skills that they have chosen for you in that skill tree. I touched on this in my last video, but in Destiny 2, Bungie is taking some of the control out of the hands of each player and placing it in their own, limiting your choices between 2 skill trees with 4 nodes each. So in reality, in Destiny 2, you only have 2 choices, whereas in Destiny 1, you had up to 64 different combinations of skills to choose from. You could consider this a failing or a good thing depending on your point of view. Do you prefer Bungie to pick the skills for you that synergize best, or would you prefer to have your skills chosen based on your preferences and what you think would fit you at the best moment? I think the new Gunslinger is a great example of a time where you'd rather mix and match than let Bungie choose for you. In the skill tree that we had access to during the beta, we had 6 shots with our golden gun and an exploding knife. In the skill tree that we didn't have access to, we had 3 shots with the capability of dealing headshot damage, and a knife that instantly recharged if we got a headshot kill with it. Now what if you wanted Knife Juggler, but 6 shots in your golden gun? Well, thanks to Bungie, you don't have the ability to do that in Destiny 2. I think they did this for a single reason, and that's to make it easy. Easy for you as a player because you don't have to make many complicated decisions. You don't have to worry about min-maxing. Pick your skill tree, everyone knows what you have, you know what you have, you can just get into it. And easier for them from a balancing standpoint. In Destiny 1, a skill had to be balanced based on itself and the different possible combinations you could choose from in your skill tree. In Destiny 2, if a skill is outperforming or underperforming, all Bungie has to do is take a look at the skill tree and adjust accordingly. Now this does have a positive externality. Because of Bungie's design decision, we know what every skill every player would be using at any given time. There's only 2 options, of course. And that means that they can't choose wrong. Someone using Armor of Light against the War Priest comes to mind. This would make playing with randoms or the new system guided games much easier, because you can trust that even new players won't make bad decisions when they choose their skills. But that leads us to our biggest problem. Do you trust Bungie? Do you trust a company that opened a microtransaction store a year after the original release of a game and had the gall to charge $30 for level boosters? Or how about a company that's offering an exotic weapon as a pre-order bonus? Or maybe one whose weapon balancing tenure is less than ideal? If you couldn't tell based on my tone of voice, I tend to fall in the camp that has little faith in Bungie, not because they don't produce great games. Bungie 1 was an excellent game, but because their design decisions and inclusions of microtransactions lead me to believe that they have nothing but contempt for their audience. I said Destiny 1 was a great game, but that's 2 years and over $100 later. All the people who played Destiny 1 and dropped it as soon as they realized what a piece of hot garbage the original release was, had the right idea. I think Bungie should have been punished for releasing the game that they did when Destiny originally released. Bungie didn't release microtransactions and paid DLCs out of the kindness of their heart. They did it because they wanted to see a bigger return on their initial investment. I think that Destiny 1, The Collection, is a great game, and I feel like a lot of people, including myself, fall into the trap of saying that Destiny is a great game without remembering the original release of the game. I find this to be a failing and a disservice to the general audience of video games. I don't think that Bungie should have gotten away with what they did with the original release of Destiny 1, but here we are, they did. And Destiny, The Collection, is an excellent game, and I'm happy that I stuck around for it and spent the time that I did playing it. At the time of this video's recording, we're less than a month away from the official release of Destiny 2, and I hope that I'm wrong. I sincerely hope that Bungie proves me wrong and they release a game that they poured their heart and soul into it without any ulterior motives. I love the final release of Destiny 1, and I hope that I love Destiny 2. But we can't forget our roots, and we can't forget that Bungie has been less than trustworthy in the past. When it comes to big decisions like changing skill trees and how skill cooldowns work in Destiny 2, that requires us to trust Bungie wholeheartedly. And if we remember the past, it's very hard to do so. If anyone at Bungie ever sees this video, in the small, microscopic chance that that happens, I implore you, please prove me wrong. Alright, thanks for watching. That wraps up our video. If you want to let me know how you feel about the changes to the skill tree and whether or not you think Bungie is trustworthy, start a thread in the comments. I'd be happy to reply. And if you didn't enjoy this video, make sure you downvote it and let me know in the comments why, so I can help improve my content in the future. So once again, thanks for watching. I appreciate you sticking around, and I hope I see you next time. And good luck getting through the exclusion zone.